You earned an ambassadorship. That's probably the best way to put it, to PRS Members Fund. Now, this is a
I'm their first. I'm their first ambassador.
Right, and you're the first ambassador. But what makes it more significant is this is an organization that's nearly 90 years old.
Yeah,
It's been doing what it's been doing, helping other members and musicians, performers for a very, very long time, helping those in need. It's not always an easy life. Everybody thinks the music star has that Britney Spears life, driving around in limos all the time. It's not always true. A lot of people need some medical help when they get a little older, or even sometimes younger.
but it's not even that as well, though.
Right,
Chris.
you guys help out everywhere. Yeah.
Well, no, but yeah, but there's musicians have different stages. When you're looking at the likes of Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and all of those people, they're up on those kind of, people put them up on a pedestal because they're constantly being, put forward on the TV. But the other thing is, and everywhere else. But the other thing is, you have different strains. I mean, you have the what do you call them? Just any genre of music. Not every genre of music is going to get up to where they are. That's just a certain field, and those ones that do find it hard. I tell you what, COVID was a good telling thing for this whole thing. Oh, that's me there. Look, I can see myself. Anyway, so hello, Jennifer. How are you?
I like the hair. The hair looks great.
Jenny. Yeah. No, but COVID was a classic example because everybody lost their jobs. You couldn't open any venue. And so what happens to all the artists that were getting paid really well before that happened? Unless you're getting royalties, which fortunately for me I was, but there are many artists that wouldn't be getting royalties. And because of that, they're going to suffer. Their work is being taken away from them, and that's all they know. And so therefore these kind of people are going to need a helping hand. And so it was really important for me to get involved. But prior to that, and many, many years ago, I always encourage people to sign up with PRS because eventually down the line, they are going to be able to help you in some way or other. And I've had many, many experiences with my friends where they'll just say, the thing with musicians is they're too afraid to ask for help. In fact, most people are afraid to ask for help. And so I wanted to be the friendly face that they could come to. And because I've been there myself once before, only once, maybe twice, who knows. But definitely one that they helped me out a big time when my father died. But more than anything, I would sometimes get called up by musicians and they asked me questions. So I would go down that road and help them fill in the forms. And, I've been blessed with the gift of writing and the ability to actually understand forms. And so where some of these artists don't. And so I would help do that for them. So I've had people that have had cancer. I've had people that were going to lose their homes. I've had people that have had strokes. I've had all kinds of people that I've helped. And as a result, and then one day, the PRS said, Jenny, would you consider being an ambassador? You've been doing this for us for ages. And I just said, I jump at the chance because that now gives me, the strength to be able to, it adds weight to what it is that I'm doing. I helped somebody just 2 days ago, and the email, the message that I got from them, it was everything. Because it means to them everything. It means that they can go out and buy a new guitar. They can do this. They can pay the rent. There's a thing up here, some food for the next 3 months. Once they get themselves going. That to me is everything.
It's very important because we need art, and a lot of the concert halls, the venues, like you said, they just went down. A lot of them aren't even back now, and some of them aren't even and musicians weren't even paid well to begin with. If you think about it, in America, gig musicians, some local musicians got a certain amount, I guess, in the 90s and 2000s. That hasn't really changed much around this decade. Putting that aside, what the PRS Members Fund really does for its members is rather interesting. It's not just throwing money here and there when somebody needs it. It's actually getting, like you said, getting, like you've been doing, getting your hands dirty and helping out too. But right now, you're trying to help people through a very, very tough winter. And this is a time where musicians who, again, after a couple of rough years in the business, now things are starting to come together. But again, energy has become way too expensive. Food has become way too expensive. People are in a hole and they can't get out.
Yeah.
And we're seeing our leaders in America, the Western Europe, digging themselves into an inflationary hole. I know that the war with Russia and Ukraine has something to do with this, but this is absolutely disgusting how people are being left behind. Your organization has really been a big help to them. But talk about what people are going through during this time, especially in Britain. I know what people are going through in America here. It's tough here, but in Britain, it's been a struggle as well. And that's a country that's been more energy or less energy independent than we are. We're not energy independent anymore. So.
That is just a travesty, because you were when you were with Trump.
Right.
Sorry, but you were. And
you
know, and I just, when I feel, I love American politics, by the way. It's just one of my favorite things of all time. And I think I know all the names or everybody that's doing this, that, and the other, more than most Americans, I might add. They do tell me this. But you know, I could sit here talking to you about this the political side of the food situation, where I honestly believe that it's all been designed and orchestrated. But I won't go down that road, because I don't think it's that kind of program. We can leave that for another place.
It's fine, because that's a reason why people are in the situation they're in right now. We have leaders that are turning their backs on their own people. We need people like you and others who are doing these charities. And there are a lot here too. But again, I don't know why people, it's easy to virtue signal, but it's very difficult to reach your hand down there and do what you're doing. As an ambassador, what does the ambassador actually do? Because the group's been around, as I said, since the 1930s.
Right. So are you talking about PRS now? Because
let's start there, as you're an ambassador with them, and then work from there.
For three things.
Right.
So if you're talking about and all three are different.
Let's do all three then. Let's do all three, because if you're an ambassador for three places, let's do it. Okay,
so for PRS, that is what I told you with trying to help people to recognize that the PRS fund is there for them, and because I'm in the business, it's easier for me to find these people. So I have I have the T-shirt. If I want to go to an event, I'll just say to them, look, I need to go to this event, so as I can pass your flyers around you, this, that, and the other. I haven't done that yet, but I have done the other stuff, which is I've actually found the people myself and helped them and filled the forms in, and just got in touch and then got them and saw them through the whole process, which, by the way, is very quick. It's very quick. PRS are very good like that. They understand when people are suffering. They don't want to be held on. Some people really don't have anything to eat. This one person I helped, they were struggling. They could only afford to go out once a week. I mean, that's a travesty. And this guy's a wonderful musician. And now, of course, and then what happens with that, Chris, is they get anxiety. And they get an awful lot of other problems. Well, 2 days ago, I got an email or a message, and it was just so heartwarming. You just go, yeah, nice one. No, and there's another one ticked off the box. I'm counting them. I'm counting the people just because I just enjoy doing. Oh, right, that one there, and they're all different. They're all, actually, I'm not really counting them, but I just know that there's quite a few, and I feel really happy to have been part of that team. Well, yeah, that team.
You've done a lot of other work over the years too. Here's something. I do want to ask you a question, though, if that's okay. I want to talk about your. Well, okay, let's get to your main one. I'll ask you my question later on, because let's get to your main one.
Well, the main charity that I do this stuff for is Food for All. So it's called Food for All, and what it says on the tin, it feeds everybody. And you could be a banker and come to the mobile van and get food. But during the COVID period, and I can talk about this till the cows come home. Again, the COVID period was a great example to show how important, it is for everybody to come on board and help. And explain to you what happened. So I know everybody. And I called up my friend who has had a charity shop. And remember, when it was lockdown in the beginning, no one was out, not even the dogs or the animals. And you're thinking, wow, where are they going to the toilet? But it was quiet as a mouse.
Well, the outhouse, right? They don't have an outhouse over there.
No. When I called my friend up, because we usually feed the homeless and they come to the van, and we're bored, and he says, Jen, what we going to say? Well, I said, he said, should we create a hub? And I was like, but there's no one in the street. And then I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I called my friend up. He's got a charity shop. I said, you can come down, give me 50 meals and see what happens. Right? So he said, yes, let's do it. So we did it. Well, within 1 hour, 50 meals they went. Picked clean. Well, first of all, my friend said, I called him up, his name's Knox, and he said, and he's running the Rock and Roll Rescue Charity. That's another thing altogether. And I said, I need the keys. He said, yeah, you can have the keys, but can I ask what for? I said, we need to feed the people. They're hungry. Are you kidding me? He said, right, I'm coming down to get the keys. Wonderful, man. And he came down and gave us his place for 9 weeks. Well, that was good enough for us to establish ourselves as a hub. And what happened was some people would walk their dogs eventually, but by the end of the week, there were people just coming out and, what are you doing? This is great. Can we help? So, of course, we had untold people wanting to help do the volunteering. Why? Because they were bored. They wanted to get out. They wanted to get outdoors. So I would say to them, I tell you what you can do. I said, if you really want to justify the reason for you walking out that door, you can go into your community and you can find out all the old people and who's not getting fed and everybody else that's kind of, locked up in their homes and they can't move, all this kind of stuff. And then you can go knock on the doors, take a little list, find out what they need, come back, and we'll give you the bags of food.